Be me 26, a high school history teacher. It's not a glamorous job, but I love it. I get to talk about tanks and trebuchets all day. My life is quiet. I grade papers, I build historical dioramas in my spare time, and my biggest vice is spending too much on well-researched history books. Was with my girlfriend Megan for 5 years, met in our last year of university. I was the stable, comfy choice, the human equivalent of a warm blanket. My passion, my real obsession, was tabletop wargaming, specifically a game called Astra Imperialis. It's like a mix of chess and model building on an epic scale. You collect, assemble, and painstakingly paint armies of miniature soldiers and tanks, and then you have massive, strategic battles. It's my sanctuary, a world of lore, strategy, and artistry. I'm not just a player, I'm a painter. I've been doing it since I was a kid. I'm good at it, like really good. MFW, my greatest passion, was about to become the reason for my greatest heartbreak. Megan never got my hobby. In the beginning, she thought it was a cute, nerdy quirk. Oh, look at you with your little toy soldiers, she'd say. But as we got older, cute turned into cringy, which then became downright embarrassing. She started trying to improve me. Anon, my friends are having a couple's brunch. Maybe leave the Space Marines at home for one weekend. Do you have to have your painting station set up in the living room? It smells like chemicals and it's just. A lot. I tried to share my passion with her. I showed her a new legion I had spent 100 plus hours painting, each miniature a tiny work of art with freehand banners and weathered effects. She glanced at it for 2 seconds. That's nice, honey. Anyway, did you see the new couch at West Elm? My world of epic battles and intricate artistry was just clutter to her. Then she met Kyle. Kyle was a brand strategist for a local lifestyle company. He was everything I wasn't. He went to the gym twice a day, had blindingly white teeth, and his vocabulary was 50% marketing buzzwords. He was the kind of guy who unironically said, "Let's circle back on that synergy." Megan was completely infatuated. He was her ticket to the cool adult life she saw on Instagram. She started spending more time with him and his friends. They went to wineries, art gallery openings, the kind where the art is just a single red dot on a canvas, and rooftop bars. I was never invited, I wouldn't fit the vibe. The breakup was brutal and humiliating. She sat me down. I thought she was going to complain about my diorama of the Battle of Thermopylae taking up too much space. It was much worse. "Lennon, I can't do this anymore," she said, her voice dripping with rehearsed sincerity. "I'm trying to build a certain kind of life, a certain image, and your hobby just doesn't fit into that." I was speechless. My hobby. "You're breaking up with me over a game." "It's not just a game, it's an obsession," she said, her voice rising. "I can't bring my friends over without having to explain why our apartment looks like a nerd's basement. I can't tell people my boyfriend's life goal is to win a tournament with his little toy soldiers." She told me she was with Kyle now, that he was ambitious and social, and that he understood the importance of personal branding. As she was leaving, she delivered the final, soul-crushing blow. "Grow up, Anon, it's time to put the toys away." She walked out, leaving me in a quiet apartment, surrounded by the beautiful, intricate toys that had just cost me the woman I loved. MFW, my 5-year relationship was defeated by a guy whose entire personality was an Instagram filter. The months that followed were a gray, featureless void. I was a ghost. I'd go to work, come home, and just stare at my armies. The joy was gone. Her words had poisoned it. "Grow up. Put the toys away." I almost did. I almost packed it all into boxes and threw it in a closet. But one night, miserable and halfway through a bottle of whiskey, I looked at the grand master of my custom chapter, a figure I had spent a month on. The detail, the artistry, the passion that went into it. This wasn't a toy, this was my art. This was my passion, and she didn't just reject it, she mocked it. She was ashamed of it, she was ashamed of me. A different feeling started to bubble up through the sadness. A cold, defiant anger. Fuck her, fuck Kyle. Fuck their personal brand. I wasn't going to abandon my passion. I was going to become so damn successful at it that her opinion would become a laughable footnote. I decided to stop being a hobbyist and start being a professional. I had a small YouTube channel where I occasionally posted painting tutorials. It had like 800 subscribers. I decided to take it seriously. I used my savings to buy a new camera and lighting. I learned how to edit video properly. I created a brand for myself. My channel and online persona became the artificer. My content changed. I didn't just show how to paint, I explained the art theory behind it. Color theory, composition, weathering techniques, storytelling in miniature form. I started a series where I'd take a single miniature and turn it into a competition-level masterpiece. The videos were long, detailed, and deeply passionate. The channel started to grow, slowly at first, then all at once. 1,000 subs, 10,000, 50,000. People in the wargaming community started to know the artificer. My style was recognizable. I started entering my armies into major online and in-person painting competitions, and I started winning. The prize money was nice, but the reputation was better. Companies started sending me new products to review. I got sponsorships. I took a leap of faith and started my own line of custom resin bases and accessories for miniatures. It sold out in the first weekend. In the midst of this, I started working on myself. I used my newfound income to hire a personal trainer. The hours spent hunched over a painting desk had done a number on my posture and physique. I started eating right and lifting heavy. The teacher bod was replaced by lean muscle. I felt more confident, more energetic. I bought new clothes. I got a stylish haircut. The external changes were a reflection of the internal shift. I was no longer the guy who was ashamed of his hobby. I was a man who had built an empire from it. 2 years passed. I was 28. I was still a history teacher. I loved my job and would never give it up, but I was also the artificer, a respected artist and influencer in a global community of millions. My YouTube channel had over 300,000 subscribers. My side business was now my main source of income, and I had to hire 2 people to help with shipping. I was a guest of honor at the biggest wargaming convention in the state. They flew me out, put me up in a nice hotel, and gave me a huge booth. My life was good. I was dating a fellow teacher, a wonderful woman who thought my passion was fascinating and my success was incredibly attractive. Now we arrive at the convention, the climax of our story. I'm at my booth, which has a huge The Artificer banner. I'm doing a live painting demonstration on a big screen. There's a long line of people waiting to meet me, get an autograph, ask for painting advice. It's surreal. I look different. I'm fit, wearing a stylish but casual outfit. I'm confident, laughing and talking with people. I'm not the schlumpy, apologetic guy Megan left. Halfway through the day, I see a familiar face in the crowd. It's Megan. My heart does a weird little jolt, but it's not love. It's like seeing a ghost from a past life. And standing next to her, looking profoundly bored and out of place, is Kyle. I keep my cool. I assume they're just here for some reason and will pass by. But then I see Kyle's eyes light up. He starts dragging Megan through the crowd towards my booth. Oh shit. JPG. Kyle pushes his way to the front of the line, practically vibrating with excitement. Megan is trailing behind him, looking at her phone, completely oblivious. No way. You're the artificer, Kyle gushes, his marketing bro voice hitting a fanboy pitch. Dude, I'm a huge fan. Your non-metallic metal technique is revolutionary. I've been following your tutorials for like a year now. I just smile politely. Hey man, thanks for the support. Glad you like the content. I'm looking right at him, but I can feel Megan's presence next to him. I can feel the moment she's going to look up from her phone. Kyle is still going. Seriously, you're the reason I got into Astra Imperialis. My stuff sucks compared to yours, but you make it so accessible. I can't believe I'm meeting you. He then turns to his girlfriend. Babe, I told you this convention was cool. This is the guy I was telling you about. He's like a celebrity in this world. And then it happens. Megan looks up from her phone, a bored, patronizing smile on her face, ready to humor her boyfriend's nerdy obsession. Her eyes meet mine. The smile vanishes. Her face goes through about 15 different emotions in 3 seconds. Confusion, disbelief, dawning horror, utter soul-shattering shock. Her jaw is literally on the floor. Her face is pale white. I just hold her gaze, my expression perfectly neutral. Kyle, oblivious, continues his fanboy rant. He's an amazing artist, babe. He takes these little toy soldiers and turns them into. He trails off, finally noticing the deafening silence and the impossibly weird vibe between me and his girlfriend. He looks at her, then at me. You can see the gears grinding in his head. Wait, Kyle says slowly, his eyes narrowing. How do you two know each other? Megan can't speak. She just stares at me, looking like she's seen a unicorn that then kicked her in the stomach. I decide to answer for her. I give Kyle a calm, polite smile. Megan and I used to date, I say, my voice even. She broke up with me a couple of years ago. She said I needed to grow up and put my toys away. I let the words hang in the air. My little toy soldiers. Kyle's face, his tanned, perfect, brand strategist face, goes completely slack. He looks at me, the celebrity he idolizes. He looks at the huge banner with my professional logo. He looks at the line of people waiting for my autograph. Then he looks at his girlfriend who once mocked this very man for this very passion. The passion that Kyle in secret shared. The realization hits him like a freight train. The man he looks up to is the pathetic, nerdy ex his girlfriend was so ashamed of. I have never seen someone's entire worldview shatter in real time before. It was spectacular. He just stared at her. You dated him, and you left him because of this. He gestures around at the entire convention at my booth at me. Megan just stammers, I didn't know, he wasn't. He wasn't what? Kyle snaps, his voice low and full of a sudden, cold fury. He wasn't a legend in the hobby I secretly love but was too much of a coward to tell you about. Is that it? I decided my work here was done. Well, I said to the crowd, it looks like these two have a lot to talk about. Who's next in line? I turned my back on them, picked up my brush, and went back to my painting demonstration, my hands perfectly steady. I didn't need to hear the rest. The shouted whispers, the accusations, the sound of their shallow, perfect relationship imploding right there on the convention floor. Her new boyfriend didn't just find out who I was. He found out who she was, and even worse, she found out who he was. The ultimate revenge isn't screaming or fighting. It's building a life so successful and authentic that their judgment of you becomes a punchline to a joke they're not in on. MFW, I didn't have to put my toys away. I just had to wait for the world to grow up and see them as art.